All right, welcome back. This is our screencast on understanding transformations. One of the things I really like about the screencast is the ability to navigate and kind of show you step by step what we're expecting from the unit and to do in the unit. And that's one of the reasons, one of the things I love about Edmodo and using screencasting, and that's a couple of the big ways how I use them. So once again, Edmodo is our home base. So let's go to our Edmodo login site, and it'll look like this: edmodo.com, and we're gonna log in. And of course, the username, whatever you created, and our password is 4Y, or our group code. No, I'm sorry, our password. We no longer need our group code. And we log in and our home page comes up. We go down to Transformations 5, that is our section number. And we can check to see if there's been any recent posts. If you'd like to answer the survey question. And of course, the quizzes are for upcoming sections, so our upcoming folders, so to speak. So we'll click on the folder. We're in screencast number 2, and it's the introduction to transformations. And as you can see here, here's our transformations screencast, and that's what you're listening to right now. And there's quite a bit of information in this folder, and we're gonna take a look at it. Some of the differences in transformations. We talk about dilations, reflections, rotations, and translations. And there's a nice introduction from the lectures that I use to supplement my own lectures in my classes. And these lectures are a little bit longer than the micro lectures that I use to teach my lessons, but these are they're very comprehensive. They give all the image formulas, all the stuff that we need to progress in the unit. And the basic differences, the types of transformations we're going to talk about are slides, which are translations, turns, which are rotations, flips, which are reflections, and the last one, when we enlarge or shrink, that'll be an example of a dilation. Utilizing our resources, let's first look at our classroom directions, and they're right here. And the directions are broken up. It says within each lesson, begin by watching the screencast that will walk you through each lesson. The screencast will also provide specific direction as to your objectives within each lesson. The objectives are also listed below. We are required to and already have registered for Edmodo, and possibly it's recommended that we register for a couple other resources. Those resources will be the Regents Prep site and the Khan Academy site. And of course the gizmos if you're looking for extended times. But as I mentioned here, in many cases, the free trials will provide you with enough attempts to understand the material. So we've completed lesson 1 at this time. We're using Edmodo, signed up for the class, navigating through the class, and exploring classroom folders and resources. So this direction or objectives unit, although it's listed within folder number 2, will be something that you can refer to throughout the course. And we're going to move ahead in lesson 2, introduction to transformations. We need to understand the different types of transformations and then understand some of the terminology involved in the lesson. And a lot of that terminology will come from watching the micro lectures. So our transformation notes, we're going to use Math is Fun for our notes, and they, like I said, they give a nice short but simple definition. And here's an example of our transformation or rotation, better known, in simple terms as a turn. You can see how there's a fixed point where the picture turns around. Our furthest point of our triangle here from the origin is our furthest point over here. Our closest point to the origin here is still our closest point to the origin. You can see how the picture's turned. Looks like 180 degrees. Reflection is better known as a flip. With a reflection, you need a line of reflection here, and you can see these points have all been flipped over, in this case, the vertical or the y-axis, and this point here is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from the origin, or from the y-axis, and it is the flip. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from the y-axis, and that's true of all the points. And you can see with the reflection, the furthest point away from the line of reflection is flipped, then it's the furthest point away from the reflection over here. A translation is a slide. You can see the orientation of the picture, the way, the angle that it sits at doesn't change with a translation, and all of these points have been slid, so to speak, up and over on the graph, and they're all slid the same number. So for instance, this red point here, which is now the purple point over here, is up, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 units, and over to the right 1, 2, 3 units, and you'll notice the same thing. All points have been translated 4 units up and 3 units to the right. After any of these transformations, the shape still has the same size, angle, area, and line length. So these are what they call congruence transformations. The size and the shape of the object are still the same, and we will use them to show congruence later in our lessons. The last one is a resize. We call it a dilation. This particular case, it looks like they're dilating the small triangle into a larger triangle, and we use a dilation like a scale factor, similar to model airplanes. Congruence and similar we will talk more about when we get there. The micro lectures, as I mentioned, we'll take a quick gander at the micro lectures, and if you look at the folders, once again, you will notice that we start with translations, rotations, reflections, and dilations. So in our transformation unit, I would highly recommend watching the translations micro lecture, and it's been supplemented from YouTube, and it's a very comprehensive lecture on transformations. And we're not going to watch that now, and that is there for you to watch and review. And translations, rotations, reflections, and dilations. And I believe we've completed all folder content. So let's go back to our PowerPoint here real quick. Helpful websites. Well, I guess in this case, Math is Fun, and our YouTube website, which we use to supplement the notes and the concepts. Pardon me. Finally, to complete our objectives, we need to analyze all folder contents, which we've done in full. Watch the micro lecture, and of course, master the terminology. When I talk about the terminology, I'm talking about the stuff from the Math is Fun website. This is the rotation, turn, flip, and slide are terms that you're probably familiar with. Rotation, reflection, and translation are terms that you're probably going to have to adjust to. But the more we do it, and I don't think these terms are completely new to any of you. So resizing, like I said, that section is considered a dilation, and we'll talk more about similarity and congruence as we go on. And that's all I have for screencast number 2. Thanks for your attention, and good luck. Make sure you post any questions in the appropriate area. Thank you.